everyone. I'm happy to welcome all of you to another exciting event by SRMK. Today we are going to stray away from the world of tech and into the land of finance. If you're anything like me, then the words mutual funds, investments, stocks, crypto baffle you so much you start to look like a meme. Well, worry not. You've come to the right place. Money Mine is just a place for newbies trying to figure out their personal finances. Today we have with us two very enigmatic speakers who are going to guide you on your journey. This event was designed to help you, our audience, get some clarity, so please feel free to drop any doubts that you might have in the chat box and we'll answer them all in due time. Now, before we get into it all, I would like to tell you a bit more about our wonderful speakers. Our first speaker, Kaitlin, is a CA aspirant and a day trader. Kaitlin has an Instagram account with over 60K followers, through which she aims to spread awareness about the stock market and the importance of being financially independent from a very early age among young adults. Next, we have Anamika Rana, a chartered accountant who has an experience of 5 years with big fours like Deloitte and KPMG. Despite having a stable corporate career, she quit her job to pursue her passion as a full-time spiritual and finance. Now let's get started. The screen is all yours, Anamika.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Angela. Hi guys. Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are having a beautiful Saturday. Not sure if you're excited because it's the weekend, it's the evening, but let's come straight to the point. So I have already been quit my job and pursue my passion full-time as a content creator into spirituality and finance as well. So you guys can definitely sell. Now, today's topic is all about money, right? So I'll share my experience and maybe many of y'all can relate to it as well. So for me, for a long time, what exactly is money was not clear. I always thought that money is like, buying an expensive car or having a beautiful house or having a nice jewelry to wear is nothing but just a medium of exchange, right? So for example, if you have a 2000 note, it has zero value unless and until you exchange it and get something in return for that. Okay. So essentially, it basically helps you to get a better life. In this session, Kaitlin, it's Kaitlin, by the way. So Kaitlin and I, we together have plans to share some important topics with y'all, ranging from stock market to crypto and covering ETFs, index funds, passive funds, everything with y'all. So stay tuned and stay excited. And if you can possibly have a notepad and a pen, so just to take down some important pointers, okay? So because I want to actually tell you all about why investment is so important. So once again, okay. So I hope my screen is visible. Can someone just unmute and confirm if it's visible or not? Okay, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
All right, cool, perfect. So when it comes to investments, right, before investment, what is very, very important is to understand what is income and what is expense, okay? So if you look at, the simple fact that, in money management, there are three important steps: personal finance, investment, and diversification or portfolio management, okay? And if you look at this particular graph over here, in personal finance, you first have income. Then out of that income, you spend a particular portion, and then the remaining part is your savings, which is then used to invest. All right. And when we talk about investments, there are various categories. You guys must have heard about old school methods like FD, RD, physical gold as well, and the new school methods as well, like equity-based investing, crypto, and real estate, or really, I would say real estate investment trust as well. So let's come to the most basic point. How do you decide where to invest? Okay, so first thing you have to thing you have to ask is what is my risk and return appetite. And now that is, so remember always like risk and returns are like twin brothers or twin sisters. Okay. Higher the risk, higher the return, and vice versa. Lower the risk, vice versa. Lower the risk. So suppose you are in the second category where you want low risk, where you are not a risky person. In that case, of course, there aren't many options, but these are the options. Like you can either keep the money in your savings account and hardly draw an interest of up to 3% or 4% maybe. Fixed deposit, again, not a very favorable method. I'm sure many of y'all must have had FDs on your name, done by your parents, but I'm sure after this session, you guys will go and tell them to break it for you, okay? RD again. So FD and RD honestly does not give a very good return, only up to like 5.5 or 6%. But if you take the net percentage after the inflation, it almost comes to negative, okay? So that's like a shocking moment for you. Then, of course, we have debt funds, okay, which is nothing but basically funds which invest in debt securities, okay? And then we have gold. Now, if you are in the first category, which is like high risk and high return, okay, then you have a lot of options. Stocks, index funds, equity funds, okay? So in index funds and equity funds, these are category of mutual funds. Stocks, Catherine is like a master over here, so she will talk about that. Cryptocurrency, I am still exploring, so I will, help you to understand around crypto as well, okay? So now coming back to the screen that you can see me. Do you guys have any questions around crypto or blockchain or something? Okay, have you guys heard of Bitcoin? If you have, please mention yes or no in the chat box. I would love to interact with you all. Quickly, guys. Have you heard of the word Bitcoin? I'm waiting. Okay. If you are following Elon Musk on Twitter, I assume you guys must have heard of Bitcoin, right? Okay. So meanwhile, you guys, Achika, I can't see the chat box active over here. All right. Okay. Perfect. Great. So I believe a lot of y'all have heard of the word Bitcoin. Now there is a confusion that Bitcoin and blockchain, are they the same? Answer is a big no. In fact, let's think of it like this: if blockchain technology is the entire ocean, Bitcoin is just a drop in that entire ocean. I know, again, y'all must have been like, oh, I thought blockchain and Bitcoin are the same things, or Ethereum and blockchain are the same things. Okay? Blockchain is the technology, okay, which supports tokens like or Ethereum or tokens like Matic or Polygon, which are the famous tokens you guys must have heard here and there on Twitter as well. Okay, so let's try to understand what around Bitcoin and why is Elon Musk called Gaga over Bitcoin. Where he sometimes posts heart and then then the breaking heart emoji. Like what's wrong with Elon Musk, and of course Dogecoin. We can't forget that, to the moon, right? So when it comes to blockchain technology, essentially every data has to be stored, right? But with the storage, there comes a risk as well that the data can be tampered, it can be manipulated as well, of course, right? So when it comes to data storage, there is essentially two forms of storing it. One is the centralized form and one is the decentralized form. Let's take the example of, say, our country, India. Okay. Now, when we talk about money, the currency, INR, whom do you think is the regulator of the currency? RBI, right? Not you or me or SRM, right? It's RBI. That basically means all the power around money is to do with RBI. That is a centralized power, okay? And power that all the decisions around money will be like a consensus coming from Kathleen, Annika, SRM, the audience, everyone, as a consensus. That is called decentralized form. Now, the good part is blockchain works on decentralized data storage. Okay, so let's simplify it further. Maybe थोड़ा सा ऊपर से cross हो जा रहा है, ठीक है? But blockchain, it's block plus chain. Chain मतलब chain है ना? पता है chain क्या होता है, right? And block मतलब डब्बा होता है, ठीक है? Now, multiple blocks, okay, are connected together like a chain. Okay. Now the question is, Anamika, what is inside the block? The simple answer is data. Okay. But what was the requirement of having a new technology around like data storage? The simple answer is I just mentioned. When everything is centralized, the power is concentrated with one authority. Got it? But centralized, of course, the mass majority has the power to be a part of the consensus. Okay. So, which is why blockchain technology was developed. Now, of course, when technology is developed, it basically means that there are a lot of computers called nodes, NODES, which are connected with each other across the world. Okay. So practically, it is impossible to tamper it. Why? Because say you just imagine, suppose there are 10 countries, okay, and in every country there are thousands of computers. Okay, but let's simplify. Let's 5 countries, and every country has one computer. Okay, one country is India, one is suppose say US, one is Australia. Okay, now computer one in India, computer two in Australia, computer three in USA, computer four in Africa. Okay, suppose I record a data in computer one over here in India. The same data gets copied and replicated in computer two, three, four across all the continents, all the countries. Got it? So ideally, if I'm a hacker, one kind of negative kind of person, okay. So if I want to hack the data, I will go to India and I will try to do some, like messing around. Why? Because the moment I try to tamper the data in computer one, the same message will go to all the computers across. So ideally, even if a person has the power, has the money, who wants to tamper the data, he or she cannot because there are millions of computers across the entire globe. So where 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 all can you go to tamper the data? It's not practically possible, which is why it's called decentralized, because no one country had the power to control the data basically. Okay, so Anshika, now the question I have for you is that how do I know the audience is understanding because I can see the chat
So
from their end.
I'll just paste their reactions, or I'll just write it down in the chat. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't know if I am being able to explain it to them clearly or not, right? Whatever I have discussed around crypto or blockchain, feel free to ask questions. I'm not an expert, but I am doing my own research. So if you have any question on that, please type it in the comments and don't shy away. Okay. Now, moving on ahead, Anamika, why was crazy around Bitcoin and what was the Dogecoin in that case, right? And why did he first patch up and then break up with either of both of these coins? Okay, you've got to understand that when we talk about Bitcoin, it is not like this. It's not something physical that you can touch and feel. Got it? It's an electronic token, basically. Okay, let me ask you a simple question. So, suppose, say, if we compare rupees versus US dollars, okay, we of course see rupee is not as strong, as the US dollar. Why? Because the utilize lesser as compared to the US dollars. Okay, or let's put it like that. Suppose say you are an individual and you are in demand. People want to talk to you. People want to experience your knowledge, right? Of course, you have limited time, so you will be selective. I will talk to this person and that person. So when your availability is limited, you become more expensive in value. Okay, or the more you are being used, the higher valuable. Now, similarly, is a currency as well, and so is any token like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dogecoin for that matter. Every token usually has a cap. कि इतना cap ही mint होगा, इतना ही token produce होगा. It's not like unlimited कि निकालते जाओ, ठीक है? So of course, if you look at almost 80% of the cap has been utilized in terms of like circulated in the market. Like people have either invested or holding it right now. Got it? So only around 20% is yet to be circulated. So like in limited supply, of course, the value will be super high. Okay. Same goes for, coins like, I would say, Ethereum as well. Okay. Now let's talk about Dogecoin. What is Dogecoin? What was the hype around it? And one more thing is, I'm sure you must have wondered, why did Elon Musk first say that we will accept Bitcoin for payment of Tesla cars, and then later on he withdrew? Because like I said, which is produced electronically. Okay. And to produce or mint a token, it requires lot of computers to, and these are not normal laptops like what we are using right now. These are like supercomputers. Got it? So of course, to run those computers, there's high amount of electricity which has to be, used up. So of course, when the Bitcoin production will increase, the computers ka power also has to increase, and that will have an adverse effect on the environment. Which is why Elon Musk initially said we will take Bitcoin for Tesla, and later on, I don't know why he didn't think of it at the first go. It will have an adverse economic environmental impact. Later on, he realized it will have carbon environmental impact, and he withdrew it basically. Cool, got it. Now, too much of Bitcoin, too much of blockchain and crypto make it easy for us, Anamika. Okay. Now, again, let me quickly, try to share my screen and show you guys something again. Okay. Maybe for those who are not really into crypto or blockchain, right? The simple question is, Anamika, I want to start, suppose, investing in a mutual kind of investment options. What do you need to do? First of all, tell yourself that right now, the situation you are in right now, it's the best time, because college is something which is the best time to start investing. Okay. First step is, you of course have to open a demat account. Don't wait for that perfect time to open the demat account, because just imagine, suppose the market is in the best invested, you don't have a demat account, you miss the opportunity. Got it? Second step you have to do is, after you open the demat account, is you start saving. Okay, 15 to 20% of your pocket money, or if you are a freelancer who is doing some side projects or internships as well, start saving bare minimum 15 to 20% of your income. And the third step is, start with a bare. So suppose if you are someone who is of investment, okay, best thing to start is SIP, which is systematic investment plan, which is basically you decide on a particular amount, say 500 or 1000 rupee or anything, and you keep investing that amount every month or every particular period that you set. Step is, let the compounding work. I'll show you how. If you look at this particular slide, in option 1 and option 3, the SIP amount, which I earlier mentioned in this slide, is 1000 rupees. Okay, the return rate, okay, is 8%. The only difference in both these things is tenure, which is 10 years over year and 20 over year. Now, if you look at it, if you keep investing 1000 rupees for the next 10 years at an 8%, total amount you invest is 1.2 lakhs, and over here it's double, 2.4 lakhs. But just now it's a game changing thing. Look at the value you will get towards the end of 10 years. Over here it's 1.84 lakhs, and over here it's almost, I would say, triple, 5.92 lakhs. Even though the amount you invested was double and everything else was the same, the amount you received is triple. Now that's the magic of compounding. Similar is the case in example 2 and 4 over here. The SIP amount was 1500. The return rate is 8%. The only difference over here is 10 years, which is 10 years and 20 years. The amount invested, of course, is double up, but the amount you receive towards the end is again triple. Okay, so that is basically the power of compounding. Okay, so yeah, so I think.
Yeah, so we're getting a lot of questions in the chat, so we'll ask them during the Q&A session.
Perfect.
So, Caslin, please take over.
Was to just get started. See, stock market always interested me.
But then the reason I got started was I had this goal of paying for my own MBA. So that is how I actually got started. I was like, no, I don't want to make my parents pay for my MBA. I want to get money, get financially independent as soon as possible. So that was the reason I entered into the stock market, and I fell in love with it. And the exposure to this financial independence thing was after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This was back in 11th grade. Then, see, now financial independence means differently for a lot of people. So for me, financially independent means like even if I stop working and stop doing the things I'm doing right now, I'll be good to go for the coming years, like for the years I live in the future, right? So that is very important to me, to achieve that financial independence as soon as possible. The reasonable goal I have in mind is 25 years, hopefully achieve it by then, but there are unreasonable goals also. But anyway, so I will be talking about the stock market. So let me get started with that. So now it has become a trend, okay, to get into the stock market, start investing, trading or something. It is a glamorous world to a lot of people, right? Like Jesse and like you'll start earning money on the first day itself. It is not like that. Stop jumping right into it, because people end up risking more than they can afford to risk, and they end up losing everything, right? There is always this one uncle, one chacha or something who has lost everything to the stock market, which, restricts a lot of us from entering the stock market, or our parents are not exactly in favor of it because they call it gambling in the stock market. And trust me, it's not a gamble if you know what you're doing. Okay, so I started back in October 2020, and I started with day trading. And trust me, I wish I would have done that differently. So if you want to newly enter into the market, go with a long-term approach, investments approach, and like dheere dheere compounding returns, like Anamika said, कि let compounding take care. Don't itna zyada ki aaj hi paisa kamana hai and you have to get the money today itself. Like there's no tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Wait, you need to have patience. Like Warren Buffett, he got like majority of his net worth after he crossed 45. The patience is the key. You have to let compounding work for you. And okay, wait, let's thoda sa scratch se jate hain. Okay, so how do you enter into the stock market? How do you start learning about it? So there are many basic books like Basics of Stock Market by Jitendra Gala. Then there's Ashwani Gujral's books to reading charts and intraday trading if you want to get into it. But I would say let's start with Basics of Stock Market. And then there is videos on YouTube's by Rachna Ranade. So you can go check that. There are plenty of resources. Okay, there's no shortage of resources as such that you cannot get started. It's just, us stopping ourselves. No, it's a vast world or something. You know what? It's just about getting started. Just small things. So you can start with reading books, watching videos or something like that. And then it's important that you learn thoroughly. Okay, first learn. Make sure you're not just jumping right into it. Because when you jump right into it, you are risking so much. Because you're going within real money, okay? And that money has some value. And the reason you are going in here is to make money, not lose money. No matter how slow your returns are, it doesn't matter, because in the end, it's about surviving the market, right? It's not about losing it. It's not about making 1,000 in a day and then just losing all of it the next day, right? A consistent amount is better than a high return one day and then continuous negative returns for the next 5 days. So go with a long-term approach, thoda consistent basis pay, and let compounding take over for you. Now, when you're entering the market, okay, now you have zero knowledge, but you have to get started with the investments. So how do you do that? There is this low risk alternatives. So you can start with that. I just advised my friend to start. He just started his Demat account and then he was like, invest. He has no idea, zero idea. Okay. So ETF ka kya hai? Nifty Bs. You can exchange traded funds of index funds like Nifty, Bank Nifty. Uska ETF leke you can start putting in monthly SIPs, like start creating SIPs. You saw that chart that Anamika like showed on the PPT. So you can see ki kitna acha hai compounding ka return. So if you're investing like 5,000 or even 1,000 per month, it gives good returns, like over 10% per year. So you can start as small as that, like, investing in Nifty Bs or Bank Bs, whatever suits your boat. You can start that because that requires zero knowledge, because we all know Nifty in the end is only going to grow because it is displaying the country's economy. Would you say that your country's economy is going to go in negative? No, right? Because it's always going to go up. So you're actually, going for the future growth of the country. You're positive. You're always bullish on your country's growth, right? So you're basically investing into that. So that's never a problem. ETFs is low risk. It has decent returns also. So that is somewhere you can get started. Then eventually you can move on to stocks. Now, how do you select stocks for long term? See, it is very simple. You don't have to have, this some PhD or something to actually know ki kaun sa stock select karna. It's very, very simple. Like abhi Fevicol you are using. So what is the parent company of Fevicol? Pidilite. So you can go invest in that. Then there's Colgate. Okay, you brush your teeth every morning. What is the toothpaste ka brand you use? Colgate. So go. There's Colgate Palmolive. That's the stock ka naam. This basic, small, like now if you go to Bajaj Finance, so go invest in that company. Like whatever stuff you're using on a day-to-day basis, it is as simple as that. Like you can just go and invest in those stocks. Now this is for a long-term perspective because you believe in this company, you use these companies yourself, right? Now, see, this is for long-term investing. Then there comes technicals. Technical analysis and fundamental analysis. There are two ways you can analyze the stocks. Fundamentals is basically the company's financial statements, like balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow statements, and everything. Then there's technical analysis, which is solely based on charts, candlesticks, graphs of charts. If you guys have ever seen people day trading and then, those red and green candlesticks, everything. So that is technical analysis, like where you technically analyze a stock and see the future growth prospects and analyze and see what the future growth prospects of the particular stock are. So fundamental analysis is like a broader concept. There's a lot of study required. And I say when you switch to, trading or, like if you hold a stock, see, there's this concept, swing trading. So swing trading, what happens in swing trading is you can hold the stock for a period of like 3 to 4 weeks and expect good returns in that, right? So for that, what you do is technically analyze that stock, not fundamentally. Fundamentally is for long term and it requires a lot of study. So so you can get started with technical analysis, like with these books, Rachana Ranadi's videos only, like I said, and then Guide to Intraday Trading by Jitendra Kala. You can see and understand these various chart patterns and how these basic stuff, candlesticks, or, you can apply for, there are many free resources available online. So you can just get started with any of them. Just pick out a video and start watching it. And I'm pretty sure it'll be there. There are people who give up in between because they are like, ki nahi ho raha, like this is not happening. I'm not able to get a grip on this. But trust me, everyone starts, I had zero idea about any of this last year, but then I kept on learning. I made sure I was, learning something or the other. I was understanding something, kept on researching, and that is how like I see myself last year and where I am right now. When I compare it, I'm like, okay, I've come a long way. Even though I might not feel like it right now, it happens, right? Like we have come, like imagine ABCD padke, and now we can form sentences and then speak for an hour or so. Like you get my point, right? We start from letters and then words and then sentence framing. But see, you have to go step by step. Stock market is not something that you can just jump into it. All right. So that, and okay, term perspective ho gaya, how you can select stocks. Now, technically, if you know even a bit of technicals, so like for those people, like now, abhi sector analyze kar sakte ho, okay? So for sector analyzing, like there are different sectors, and now abhi Nifty is the country's index. Okay? So now there's then sectoral based indexes like Bank Nifty, Nifty Pharma, Nifty Auto. So there are these different indices like for every sector. So go and analyze them. Like if you feel like Nifty Auto is going to go good in the coming months. So what you can do is go under Nifty Auto and whatever the, like, just Google में search करना normal Nifty Auto stocks क्या है, and then you go and see, and then MRF या फिर okay, हाँ, तो फिर like whatever stocks come under Google, उसमें जाके है ना invest करना है बस. Like if you think it's the prospects look good or something after analyzing the indices, so फिर उसमें, it is as simple as that. It is not a huge deal or something. I don't know why it is so complicated or anything. All I'm saying is just don't go for, quick money or, एक ही दिन में ये PNL green करना है या something. Go for a long-term prospect. Make sure you get returns. FD का return is somewhere around 5 to 6. If you're getting 10 to 12% a year, that is amazing. That is great. For starters, it is amazing. Okay, so start with that and don't get too carried away with what these other traders or investors are showing on. It's just about getting started. It doesn't matter how small your amount is or something. Start with 100, 500, 1000, jo bhi hai, jitna bhi hai, start investing. It's all about getting started, and then you will get the hang of it eventually. Start with ETFs. ETFs are low risk investment, so you can start with that, and then eventually start learning about, and then fundamentals. But then I would say focus on technicals, because technicals help a lot and they are applicable everywhere. So yeah, and there's this question, crypto if the fundamentals of the stock market can be applied into the crypto scene. It is not, technicals are the same everywhere, okay, but the fundamentals are vastly different, like they're very different. Crypto का इतना ज़्यादा ये नहीं है, but then you can apply the technicals. Once you learn technicals of a chart, you can apply that anywhere, in any market, forex, crypto, whatever chart you see, you can apply technicals there. So make it a point to study about technicals, and you can get started on technicals. There are many YouTube videos, like I said, on the internet. So you just have to go search and see what suits you, or read books, whatever suits your boat, honestly. So it's all about getting started. So yeah, thank you. This is it.
Hello. So as Caslin is done, so everybody's done. So the conversation part is going to be continued. Right now, we're going to go back to the quiz. So we have planned a little quiz for you, and the quiz is going to comprise of different kinds of questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I visible now? Hey, everybody. So we are starting a quiz now to test your knowledge. Whatever you learned, we hope you are paying attention, because some of the things they mentioned is in the chat, is in the quiz. So you will be judged on the basis of that. And there are exciting prizes waiting for you by the end of the quiz. So the result will be out on our Instagram stories. So stay tuned. And I wish you all the best. So go ahead and start doing the quiz. It's in the chat box now.
chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and I changed the game. It's my big bronze boogie got all them girls shook. My big fat ass got all them boys cooked. We're from dollar bills, now we popping rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance like hey. Flexing on the gram like hey. Hit the Lil Jon, okay, okay. Oh yeah, we dripping and finesse and getting paid.
Ooh, don't we look good together? There's a reason why they watch all night long. Yeah, I know we'll turn heads forever. So tonight I'm gonna show you off. When I'm walking with you, I watch the whole room change. Baby, that's what you do. No, my baby don't play. Blaming all my confidence. I'm blaming all your measurements. Shut the shit down on sight. That's right. Hey, I hit dripping with finesse. It don't make no sense. I hit dripping with finesse. You know it, you know it. I hit dripping with finesse. It don't make no sense. I hit dripping with finesse. You know it, you know it. Now slow it down for me, baby. 'Cause I love the way it feels when we grind. Yeah, our connection's so magnetic on the floor. Prophetess of Productions. Prophetess of Productions.
Drop top Porsche, rollie on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and I changed the game. It's my big bronze boogie got all them girls shook. My big fat ass got all them boys cooked. We're from dollar bills, now we popping rubber bands.
Hello everybody. So the quiz you gave, you'll be getting prizes on the behalf of our sponsors. So our sponsors are So the winners will be getting a t-shirt from the Think Basic folks, and you guys will be getting coupons from the Grab On, and you will be getting coupons with a wide range of coupons for our participants, and there are many more exciting prizes. And so yeah, so there's we, as planned, we are going to go ahead with our sponsors, and we are going to go ahead with the Q&A session. So now Anamika and Keslin will be answering all your questions. So feel free to put them in the chat box, and I'll be asking them the questions. So whatever doubts you have, you feel free to clear them. Question. So let's start with that one. So the Q&A session has started. So the first question is, how does the government track the crypto investments, and how do we get taxed on the crypto and the profits earned by crypto investments?
Right, that's a very good question. So first of all, like we all know that there's a lot of talk around crypto being legal or illegal or nowhere in between. Okay, so you got to understand anything can be illegal only when it goes against a particular law or act, which is passed around it. Presently in India, there is no law around crypto. Okay, so ideally, you can't say it's legal or illegal. It is yet to be decided. Okay, but as far as from what I understand, you can, of course, you don't have to like disclose your crypto investments as such anywhere. But of course, whatever, so suppose you use a platform like WazirX, okay, to invest or trade in crypto, okay, and of course, whatever amount is coming into your bank account, you can maybe show it under the heading of other income. Just so we suppose if you're doing intraday trading, right? Either you have short-term gain or long-term capital gain. Long-term is when it goes beyond a year. Short-term is when it is within the year, right? And then something called intraday trading, which again comes under the category of other income or business income sources as well. Okay. Similarly, is for crypto investments as well. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you for the response. The next question is by Vinayak. So the next question is how to get started with the FNO and the pathway that would be really helpful based on your experience. That's the Vinayak. So if you could just answer that.
Okay, so FNO is the derivative segment of the market. It is highly risky. It gives just as high returns. I would say do not get started unless you're really good with equity, okay? Like you have a grab on your technicals, know what you're doing, and you have some capital you can afford to lose completely, because FNO is a zero-sum game, and you that is a place where you can lose your entire capital. You know about it, the better. Do not get started with it. Focus on equity, build on equity. You can get amazing returns on equity. FNO mein the problem in FNO is कि you will end up, getting too emotional or something, or end up deploying a capital that you cannot afford to lose in want of bigger profits, a lot of profits or something, because it's very much possible in the FNO segment. So, but if you think you have a hold in equity and you think you have capital to lose, like you can afford to lose some amount of capital, like make sure you're not putting too much into FNO. Like maybe 5 to 10% of your total capital should go into FNO. So if you want to get started with that, there's this guide to futures and options by Ankit, and there are also YouTube videos, whatever YouTube video suits you. So yeah, these books, this one book.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. So the next next question is by Kavya. So the question is, what is the difference between the crypto coin and the Doge coin and the other cryptocurrencies? Basically, how are they different from each other?
Okay, so again, a very good question, Kavya. So as far as difference between crypto coin, Dogecoin, and other cryptocurrencies are concerned, like I earlier also maintained that all these kind of like tokens or coins or currencies are small drops, which make the ocean together, and the ocean name is blockchain. Got it? So basically, there are several projects which run on the blockchain technology. Okay, and many projects want to mint their token. Got it? Like create their own currency in a way. Okay, let me give you a simple example. Not sure if it's the right fit or not, but think of it like suppose the entire Earth, okay, the entire globe is the blockchain technology, okay, and the small continents over there, okay, are basically I would say the crypto projects, okay, or I would say the big players like Ethereum blockchain or Matic blockchain, okay, and then within every continent, countries, cities, and states, right? Now think of it like this: suppose on Ethereum blockchain, then there are further smaller projects which mint their token. Got it? So suppose say let's talk about a token. Suppose say Shibu coin. Okay. So suppose that is working in that is a project which is working on the blockchain of Ethereum network. Clear with that? That is the only difference. And second aspect is suppose it's like I asked you what is the difference between Hindustan Unilever and some other company. Let's talk about suppose say IT sector. What is the difference between TCS and Happiest Minds? The difference is that IT sector is the technology, the blockchain network basically, and TCS and Happiest Minds are the projects in who are producing their own tokens or their own stocks in which you can trade. Clear enough?
Yes, thank you. Actually, there's a follow-up question to that. So, like, there being so many cryptocurrencies, so far the cryptocurrencies which are really booming, apart from Bitcoin, all the things are happening. People are tweeting something, or maybe Elon Musk is supporting a cryptocurrency. So that is making a very volatile market when it comes to cryptocurrency. So, do you think will it stabilize over time, or not? Like how? What is your opinion?
Okay,
basically?
so let's understand like this. Why is a certain thing volatile when there is no strong base to it? Correct? Like when there is no law, there is no regulation around something. Of course, every try to become the father of that thing. That it is mine, or I know about it, right? So my suggestion would be never go by tweets, irrespective of who is doing that. Got it? Because if you blindly follow a person's tweet, just telling you an example, suppose say, Elon Musk tweeted at 12 midnight, okay, Indian Standard Time, that Bitcoin is going to shoot up. You invested in Bitcoin and you slept off. Okay, I will wake up, all rich in the morning. And you did not check your tweets, for the next 8 hours while you were asleep. You woke up at 8 a.m. and you saw that, oh my God, Elon Musk had one more tweet where he says that, ha ha ha, April Fool, I was kidding. What are you going to do? Yeah. Think of it like this, right? So how can you literally rely on a person's tweets whose WhatsApp number or like contact number you don't even have? You don't even know that person. He doesn't know you. How can you just believe someone like that? Got it? So my suggestion would be never follow tweets of random people, Elon Musk or some random person as well, because you never know what next kya tweet karne wala hai and on what basis he is tweeting that tweet. So always do a basic research. There are websites. I'll in fact just type it in the section in the comments in the chat section also. One is CoinMarket. I'm putting it directly on the YouTube video, Anshika.
Okay.
So yeah. So one is coinmarketcap.com. The other one is Token Insights. Okay. So these are a couple of websites basically where you can just go type in the name of the crypto token that you want to read about, okay, and go to their respective websites and just understand okay, the prioritization of the token. Like I earlier also mentioned, a currency only gets value when it has high demand and high, like the basic of economics, right? Similarly is crypto token. If it is being utilized by the project, of course the value will go up. If it is not being utilized, it will come down. Okay. So it's as simple as that.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to move on to the next question. So the next question is by Reeti. So Reeti has asked us if I wanted to know, how does one with no experience enter the crypto market? The crypto market being so volatile, how do I decide on which cryptocurrencies fit my requirement?
Okay. Again, a very good question by Riti Jha. Riti, so let's think of it like this. Like Kathleen had very nicely explained about how do you decide on a stock you want to buy. You see whether that stock is somewhere in your own, list as a consumer or not. Got it? So then you go to that particular company, understand that company करती क्या है, what does the company do to generate the revenue, correct? Similarly is crypto. You don't invest in random coins just because they are hyped up, whether it is Bitcoin or Ethereum coin or Dogecoin. You don't invest it randomly. You first go to their respective websites and read documents like, so for example, in stock market, you have documents like financial statements or reports of a company. Similarly, in crypto, you have documents like white paper. Reading first of all.
Okay, thank you for that question, Riti, and thank you for the answer, Anamika. So the next question we have is, there is a lot of doubts regarding what kind of investment most of us should do, because most of us are in college. So what kind of investments do we invest in? Mutual funds? Do we? Because whenever we go to our parents for advice, all they say is ki FD kar do. So like, do you have any advice when we don't have so much capital? How do we manage that money?
To take up that question.
Yeah, sure. So like I mentioned, like index ETFs, okay? So Nifty Bs, Bank Bs, these are low risk, but they give better returns than FD, like around 10 to 12%, you can say. So and they are priced as low as Nifty Bs is around 150 rupees per share, like per Nifty B, it is 150 rupees. And Bank Bs is around 3. So you can start with as low amount as 500. And I believe that we all have 500 rupees to spare. We all go out to take some cash from our parents. So it's never a problem, unless we have that mental barrier. You just have to start. Like these index ETFs are a good option to get started. Or like I said, just pick out any stock. It doesn't matter even if you're investing in one single stock, okay? Because over time, because every month you'll gain some funds, and if you put up a fraction of them into your investments, like ek karke, it will keep on increasing, and then eventually it will compound and give you a higher return. So it doesn't matter how much how many funds you have or something. Just get started. There are index ETFs or just any stock you like, any company that you truly believe and use a lot. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that answer. So the next question is by Angela. So she has asked us, there are so many choices in the crypto market. So there are so many platforms where we can buy and sell crypto, and there's different kinds of wallet. Like, would you elaborate on that? Like, which platforms should we be using? And stuff.
Right. So more than wallets, I would say choose platform. Like in India, fortunately, we have many companies, which support crypto investment. BuzzDX being one of the good ones. CoinDCX Go. We have many others like also. I personally have used WazirX, so I know it is good, but my friends have used CoinSwitch and CoinDCX Go. So you can take your bet on which application. You can just download the application first, just see if it is user friendly or not, and then decide whether you want to invest money through that app or not. Okay, you have the free choice to do that. And then the second thing is, so that is about the wallet part. Okay, once you have the app ready, you of course you transfer some amount and that will be used for trading. There is also something called MetaMask, okay, which is a MetaMask wallet, through which also you can transfer the application wallet. Okay, all of these terms you can just go on Google, type it in details and understand more in detail, because we have a time constraint. Let's not dwell deep into that. But MetaMask is one wallet name. Remember WazirX, CoinDCX Go, CoinSwitch. Okay. Now the second part is like when there's so many altcoins. So what is altcoin? Bitcoin के अलावा जो coins होते हैं उनको altcoins बोलते हैं, because Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency. Okay, which is why Bitcoin is like the king of all, and then you have okay. So when you have so many altcoins, how do you decide which one to invest in? Like I just mentioned earlier in GP's question, you go and read about that project through various websites. Like I mentioned in the chat box also, CoinMarketCap, Token Insights are the top two which come to my mind. There is CoinGecko also. There's so many. Actually, there's so many websites. There's not like one website. Like in Indian stock market, there is something called screener.in, or there is something called tickertapes.com. We refer to. Similarly, in crypto, we refer to these websites. We read about the project. We see what are the. So we don't have any financial statements for crypto, right? But we have the white paper. So read about the white paper. What is the project about? What is the technology they are working on? Read about the founders, because it once happened. There was a crypto token, which I found really interesting. But when I went and checked the founder's name, they were nowhere to be found. And that's when I realized that, oh, this was a big scam, like a big scam. Okay. So don't just invest in a token because the white paper is super user friendly and you understand the project. Make sure that there is a physical person behind the project who is running it, okay? And even the core team members. So once you do the basics and check the technical chart, what is the trading volume in the last. So in crypto, it is very, very volatile. It is like 6 months of stock market and 6 weeks of crypto. It's the same. It is very, very like in stock market, you are in front of the laptop from 9 to suppose it's 3:30 or something. In crypto, you have to be like in front of the laptop like literally all day because it is so volatile. Okay, so my suggestion would be to you guys as college students, without knowing where the money is going, read first, understand, and then invest.
Okay. So thank you for your answers. So the next question is, a lot of us are students, and a lot of us have taken student loans. Some people want to go for studies overseas and stuff. So people take loans. So as a student, how do you manage that situation? Like you have to pay off loan. So when you get your first salary, how do you manage that money to pay off your loan and get on with your finances?
Cass, you want to answer that question?
I think you would be better at this. I'm still a student, still figuring it out.
I'm sure we both are equally good. But I think I honestly am not the best person. Why? Because I have not taken an education loan, right? Specifically, and I personally try to stay away from loans as much as possible because I've always had bad experiences when it comes to repaying off, and I don't even want to think about that experience. Okay. So I would say as a student, of course, once you travel, from what I can tell you in bits and pieces from my friends' experiences is that they do take up loan. Of course, they travel, and then along with their studies, like my own cousin brother, he's in Australia. He took up a very big, huge loan, but at the same time, along with his college, he's also working and getting some income so that he can start repaying off the loan earlier. Okay, and the faster you try to repay off your loan, the better situation you are at. Okay, so yeah. I think that is the one. Want to hold on to education loans for up to 8 years because there's a taxation benefit as well. But I'm sure as students, you guys will not be coming in that category where you want to save taxes and all because Delhi dur hai, right? So I would suggest the try to first of all not take a very, very heavy loan. Take that much loan which you can repay off in the form of like 5 extra incomes, and you can take care of the EMIs from that.
Okay. So there's a very, very interesting question. We all want to know the answer to this. So the question is there any investment that cannot be taxed? Is there any investment that cannot be taxed?
The investment in yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only investment that cannot be taxed. The amount of knowledge you invest in and all. Baki, everything is tagged and taxed. There's no investment as such. Just invest in yourself. That won't ever be taxed.
Okay, so the next question is about the Zomato IPO. So the question
I'll just add something to the investment part on taxation aspect. So there are few investments, like suppose if PPF, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, right, which do come ELSS funds, right? So if you go to the Income Tax Act 1962, you go to section 80C. Okay, there is a huge list of investments which come in the category of 80C, which you can invest in and enjoy the zero tax on that. Okay, so ideally you can easily get a zero tax up to 1.5 lakh, and then beyond that, if you have suppose say a health insurance as well. Okay, even in that, depending on आपने health insurance खुद के लिए ली है या family members के लिए ली है and all, you can save tax up to 75,000 in that as well. Okay, which of course is also an investment because you are saving money by not spending money on extra health expenses, right? And apart from that, of course, there is one section of 80G, I think, where you basically, again, this is not investment, but where you donate money to a charitable organization or some institute, and that is like it gets deducted from your from your net income basically. So these are few options. Just go and read section 80C. This is as per the old tax regime. Okay, so make sure you do the comparison between old and new tax regime as well.
Okay. Yeah. Next question is by Dhruvil. So Dhruvil has asked, mining Bitcoin is very energy consuming, but there are other altcoins which are easier as compared to it. So like any good idea how to mine them and stuff? And I would like to add something to that, like China having on the mining, like they're having restriction on the mining policies. Do you think this is scope that in India the mining scene will be booming in the coming days or something?
Okay, a very good question. First of all, Dhruv, I would like to talk to you personally. If you are in the process of mining a coin of your own, I would like to be like one of your best friends, buddies. Okay, over here. Okay, but yes, of course. Like I mean, there are a lot of talks and efforts going around mining of coins which are not as energy consuming as compared to Bitcoin. And I'm sure, considering the kind of scope and the money people see in this technology, there will be some solution coming very, very soon. I don't have any data to back it up as such, but from pure news and the headlines which you read in the daily newspapers, you do understand that yes, people are not going to quit on Bitcoin, on blockchain so easily because it has already been there for more than a decade now. It's already okay. Just the fact that हर 2-3 साल में एक बार इसमें एक bear market आता है and then it regains back is just a sign that it's here to stay. Okay, as far as any other country like India picking up the mining aspect, not sure about that because again there's nothing in news as such, so I don't have any insider information. Of course, I wish I did, but I don't. But yeah, there are other countries which are catching up, like a lot of European based opportunity of mining altcoins. So yeah, of course, I'm sure if one country quits on it, other countries will pick it up. So it's always like a competition.
Okay. So I skipped on a question as I asked earlier. So the question was the Zomato IPO worth it? Because it's the recent big news coming. So like, what is your opinion on the Zomato IPO? Like the company.
Cass, what is your opinion, Cass?
I'm more on the technical side. Once it lists, I can give an opinion. Right now, I'm still skeptical about it.
Right. I personally did not apply for it for the same reason. There was no technical backup to it. So, and fundamentally, it was not very, very strong. So I did not go for it. Again, it's my personal opinion. Rest is your call.
Okay. So the next question is about stocks, and it is, what stocks do you like? Like a couple of stocks you believe are a good buy, and some that you don't think will last as long or something. So this question is by Arushi Sharma.
Okay, so what stocks I like is taking stocks ka naam, like this is something that I don't personally believe in. Like, don't go on what some money is, right? It's your portfolio, it's your money. You have to take care of it yourself. No matter like how good a person might say ki the stock is amazing, the stock is this, the stock is that. That person entered into that, entered in that stock like 1 or 2 years at a much better price than you. And now if you go and invest in that stock right now and then that stock's coming, like, just don't go over someone else's worth, right? See your own, do your own analysis. I've told you plenty of resources how you can, like, there's so many resources online. You can just get started. Zerodha Varsity also. I forgot to mention that Zerodha Varsity. That's also an amazing platform to learn about the stock market and how you can, what stocks you can choose and all. So don't go over because what might be the best stock for me might be the worst stock for someone else, right? Because I would have entered and exited at the right time, but someone else might have entered where I would have exited, and that stock might have been, not a good experience for them. So don't go over someone else's words or someone else's recommendations or what the other person has in their portfolio. You have to create your own portfolio at the end of the day, because it's your money and you have to take care of your own money. No one else is going to come and hold your hand and then tell you, okay, this is a good stock.
So another question which I missed out earlier, it is how to get into the technical analysis, like all the graphs and everything is great, but how do you start with it?
Like I said, just these books, how Basics of the Indian Stock Market by Jitendra Gala. Then another one, Ankit Gala and Jitendra Gala. Guide to getting started with the intraday trading, and then Rachana Ranades videos. These are the resources I relied upon personally when I got started. These two books and Rachana Ranades videos, and then practical experience. Like go on tradingview.com. in.tradingview.com is the website you go to check out the charts and all. Change the setting to candlestick patterns, and then you can just try out and whatever you have learned from this book and videos. So it's more about practical experience than just consuming knowledge.
Okay. So the next question is, can NRI investments in stocks and mutual funds, or do they have restrictions?
I think there are some restrictions. I'm not very clear on that part, but I think Anamika would be a better person.
No, I don't think they can invest in the Indian stocks because they are NRIs, right? So, I mean, of course, if you are routing the investment through an Indian family member, then that's a separate scenario. But I am not aware of any, any rule as such which allows NRIs to invest. Although I feel there should be ideally, because as Indians, we can invest in the US stock market, right? So I'm sure the other way also applies. But the question is, do they want to apply in Indian stock market? Like, of course, so I'm sure there is something around it. Just I'm not aware of it because I don't have any family member as such who is applying in Indian stock market or have even asked me. But one of my friends, who is in the US, she did mention to me once that she wants to invest in Indian stock market, but she is not allowed to. Okay. I don't know the logic behind it. It's so funny, but maybe there's just something not around it till now.
Okay, so there's a question that I personally want to add on to it. So like on the Instagram and YouTube, like all the people giving us knowledge, there's a lot of people giving us knowledge about the stock market, but I've noticed a lot of it is about the companies listed in America or maybe on the New York Stock Exchange and stuff. How would I invest in those companies? As you said, we can. So what are the sources or what are the resources we should study, and how do we study those stocks?
See, investing in individual stocks, US stocks, is a quite expensive thing. Okay? Like, especially if you have a small capital, unless you have like a good amount of capital, then you can, actually consider investing in an individual US stock or something. I would say go for US ETFs. Okay. There are like 2-3 ETFs which are really good, so you can go for them. But I don't know much about these US stocks. But then if you're going for individual stocks, it doesn't make sense if you're going to invest in 1 or 2 stocks, because the taxes, the charges and all, just take up most of the profits and the capital. So it doesn't really make sense. Stick to the Indian stock market as much as you can, because that is where the most of the benefit for you lies. If the capital grows and you have a good amount of capital, then you can think of diversifying into other stock markets.
Okay. So the next question is, what factors do you consider apart from the financial report when it's on the downside when applying for an IPO? What does the I'll see the question again. So I've posted the question in the
Assess once it's
assess
listed.
once listed. Yeah, this
Right.
question also by Vinayak. He asked a
Right,
question.
right. So, Vinayak, a very good question over here. I think the only thing you can analyze before a company is listed is the fundamentals because technicals aren't available, right? So, as far as fundamentals are concerned, of course, you can check out the annual reports, you can check out the company's website, check out the founders again. You know, what kind of are they like visionaries or is the top management kind of like volatile or is it like stable? You can check around the long-term vision of the company. Like, you know, suppose it's Zomato. I mean, there is competition from Swiggy, from Uber as well for that matter. But how does Zomato plan to take over that competition? Right? There has to be like a clear roadmap. So once you read the news around the company, you will get to understand that whether there is scope in terms of investing in that company or not. And of course, like without the technical chart, you cannot see any other thing because annual reports are the only verified sources because they are audited, right? By good auditors. So yeah.
Okay. So thank you for that answer. So the next question will be just a second. So Dhruvil has asked again, how are companies companies valued when a new IPO is launched? So that would be like I think that would be a follow up to the previous question.
Okay. So most important is let's understand what is valuation, right? Like how you value a company from the market perspective. Okay. For that view, the most important factor is called financial modeling, basically. Okay. And you know, you have to also see that, you know, for the IPO to be valued, you have to see what is the demand for that company's, you know, shares. You have to also see, you know, other factors like I said about the future growth perspective of the company, whether there's a proper roadmap or not. Okay. What is supposed say the balance sheet saying? There's something called fixed assets and current work in progress. Okay. For that, in as an auditor, we used to do the future projection. Okay. And suppose say a particular fixed asset is worth 100 rupees right now, or a current work in progress, suppose it is 100 rupees right now. What will be the future valuation or the future projection valuation of that 100 rupees in the next 5 years? Considering the market scenario, the competition, the growth aspect, the financial modeling basically. So that is exactly how the companies are valued when the new IPO is launched.
Okay, thank you for that answer. So the next question I wanted to ask was, so basically when like one starts investing, I would like to ask a question from my personal experience, if you guys don't mind. So the question basically, I started investing, and a lot of my friends, we made a group and we did research and we started investing, but we had a lot of trouble picking up stock because we didn't have a capital. Like everybody is telling us that we should buy HDFC ka stock, but how do, like I don't have that much money, so how do I invest in companies, and which kind of companies should I pick if I have a limited amount of money?
Like I said, go with ETFs if you don't have much amount of money. And the company's choice is basically what you use on a daily basis. Like I gave the example, agar toothpaste is from Colgate, so go invest in Colgate. Then Fevicol, Pidilite. So you can do these basic stuff. So just one share or something, whatever suits your budget.
Okay.
So yeah. Just
So
make sure you're consistent in investing that, because
okay.
compound kar ki returns अच्छे से.
Right. Also, Anshika, I mean, you don't have to necessarily enter into the blue chip stocks only as an early investor, right? I mean, of course, when you know HDFC is a blue chip stock, right, and you know it's not gonna be cheap. Of course, it's close to like 1,500 rupees, right? Just think of it like this: why do you want to 1,500? What is the kind of return it will give you? Maximum 10 rupees, 20 rupees, but are you willing to risk 1,500 for 20 rupees profit? Not a
Yeah.
smart decision, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, maybe a bank, suppose say like Union Bank of India. Okay, it is very cheap. It's around 35, 40 rupees. You suppose this the same percentage of returns you will be in a less risky position. Because in the worst case, even if you lose the 30 rupees, you won't start crying. But 1500 gone, you will be like, okay, that's like a huge loss for me.
Yeah.
So just don't see the blue chip companies initially, because if you don't have the capital, not a wise investment. And then check, of course, over the past couple of years, how has the company been performing, and how do you see that? I always say the basics. Go back to the basics. Check the revenue, check the profit, check the future perspective. आगे का क्या plans है उसका, right? Check if it's a financial company like banks, check something like the loans and the liability section. Check the balance sheet more than the profit loss only. Got it? So check these basics, and I'm sure you will be able to take a good bet at it then.
Okay. So the next question is, how are the profits from the intraday trading taxed, and what income from the day trading will be considered as speculative? I'll paste the question here for you. Yeah. So this is the question. So this is asked by Khushi.
Okay, so the profits from intraday trading in equity is considered as speculative income, whereas F&O, the futures and options derivative segment, is non-speculative because it is used for hedging mainly. So, and the profits from intraday trading are taxed since you're not exactly investing in the company, like long-term prospects, you're believing the company, you're closing your positions on the same day. So it is taxed at like 15%. But if you are to hold on a stock for like more than a year or something, then it is taxed at 10%. And I think there's an exemption of up to 1 lakh profits, if I'm not wrong. So that.
So there's all these different kinds of trading. People are doing intraday trading. There's long-term investments. There's short-term investments. How do they work? Like us being student, most of our audience being in the 20s, every Instagram person or the YouTube person is telling us to take risks because we have our parents backing us and everything. So what do you think would be a better bet for us? Like once we get the knowledge that we have to start.
Once you have the knowledge, like once you have your basics cleared and all. So see, of course, you have to get started with your long-term portfolio. Okay, intraday, leave it for the end. Intraday to socho bhi mat abhi. Then there's this concept swing trading, which you said. There's long-term, swing, and then intraday. So swing trading is basically holding a stock for like 2 to 3 weeks, yeah, a few months, like under a year basically, and expecting good returns from that. Okay, yeah. This is safer than intraday. Intraday has this zyada risk hai. When there's more risk in intraday while you're intraday trading. Swing has comparatively lesser risk and it's a little more safer. So the swing trading kabhi acha hai, so you can go with it. Long-term investing may focus secondary, and then intraday should be your end, because when you're swing trading, you will be using your technicals and technical analyzing. So when you're putting your technicals on, like your whatever knowledge you have, using it during swing trading, thoda polish hote, when you think, okay, you have a good grasp on this, then you can move on to intraday gradually, slowly. Then your capital allocation could be like 60% swing, because swing is a good return generation, and then 20% long term, 20 to 30% long term, and then 10% to intraday. Intraday may as low as possible the amount of capital that you should invest.
Okay. So another question is, people talk about penny stocks. So do you think they're worth the time or worth the money?
I personally believe penny stocks are not exactly worth it. Like, see, penny stocks why people invest in penny stocks is because paisa double karna hai, 21 din mein paisa double or something like that. That is not the way to go. Like, suppose even if you invest, like, think it from this perspective, penny stocks are highly risky. They're like very illiquid, and the volatility, like there's a lot of factors at play. Okay, the penny stock could go from now 4 rupees to 2 rupees, right, in a day or something. Like that is 50% reduction. Like in a day, in a period of time, 4 rupees to 2 rupees, and we are expecting it to go from 4 rupees to 10 rupees, and that will, double, triple our capital. But then what if it goes from 4 to 2? It nearly halves our capital, which is not exactly what we are aiming for, right?
Yeah.
But then you go on to invest in a well-established, that company, it's doing good, it's doing well. That stock could also double and triple, right? Now for Happiest Minds, this IPO released, I think, around last year in November. It released at around 300, and now it's around 1,500 or 800. I'm not sure. It's around this. So like 5 times the returns. You can make money in these good companies also. As much returns as you're expecting in these penny stocks, the times, so 2 times, 3 times returns, and these nice like 1,000 rupees ka stocks also. You don't have to necessarily go to that 10 rupees ka stock. Start thinking in percentage terms. That is the key. Not key, okay, सिर्फ 2 रुपए का stock है, I can buy 1,000 of this or something. It's okay even if you're buying one stock of that 1,000, क्योंकि उतना ही return मिलेगा इधर भी. That is it.
Okay. So yeah. So the next question, I'll look for it. Questions I think I've missed out on a few. I think we are all covered. Yeah, one more thing. The thing that the companies holding a stock, so the dividends and everything which are provided with the companies, how do they work?
So when the company has excess profits or something, like shareholder, like profits में से they take out a part, like we are all owners of the company, right? When we invest in the company, we are all owners of the company, even if it's like 0.1% or something. You are the owner of a company. So the profits मिलता है, अगर profits थोड़े like if they think that these are distributable profits, so like some companies, is a company which regularly gives out dividends, but usually nowadays people prefer that companies don't give out dividends because they want that the amount that they were going to give out as dividend, they want them to invest in the company and increase the sales and the prospects and expand that company so that share ka value bade, so that they are benefiting. So because that is why people are not really hell-bent on dividends nowadays, but it is just something like something out of the profits that are given to the shareholders.
Okay, cool. So those are the end of our questions. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll wrap it. So I would like to thank you for coming and answering all our doubts, Anamika as well. We are really grateful that you could spare the time, and thank you for coming and solving all our doubts. I hope you guys have had fun as much as us and our audience. And yeah, so there's a surprise segment that we've planned for our participants. Basics folks is going to provide you with coupons. So the winner is going to get a free t-shirt, and so yeah, this is all the sponsors there are. So Okay. So I'm sorry, I think there was a technical glitch. We'll start over again. So as I was telling you about our sponsors, so we have some amazing sponsors who help us do our events. So the event sponsors for today is Finlatics, Grab On, Tees Hut, and Think Basic Folks. So people are going to get prizes, and these uh, the the next game that we have for you is called Stocks and Stonks. So Stocks and Stonks is a game which is going to test out your knowledge, that whatever you have learned during the course of the event. So basically what is going to happen for you is you are going to be given a bunch of categories. So each category is going to be a sector. So, for example, there's going to be agriculture sector, pharmaceutical sector, and there's going to be 7 categories, and each category is going to have 5 companies listed. So, what you guys have to do is you have to pick one company from each sector and make a portfolio for yourself. So, based on the past performance, whichever portfolio gives out the maximum returns will be winning the prizes, and the course which is being given by the Finlatics, and t-shirts by T-Zart. So if you guys have any doubts regarding the event, have you can write them in the chat box. And apart from that, all the details of the event will be given on the Discord. The entire event will be conducted on Discord. So for the event, you have time to evaluate all the details and all the stocks, and you will be given approximately 18 hours. And the competition will start as soon as this event ends. All the details will be on our Discord channel. So please join the Discord channel so that you don't miss out on anything. So I don't see any doubts coming up. So guys, just hop onto our Discord channel, participate, and win exciting prizes, and share the links, because this competition, even if your friends didn't register for the event, they can still participate. So just feel free to come and share your knowledge and win the prizes for it. So the community link has been sent on the chat box, and yeah, that is it from my side. I just want to thank Kaitlin again, and I will hand over the mic to you, Angela. Angela? Um,
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I'll be starting over. Thank you, Anshikadi. So we have now come to the very end of our workshop, and I hope everyone present here will be leaving with useful insights on how to deal with finance more smartly. Financial literacy is a concept that every young adult should be familiar with. Let's face it, most of us were only aware of the terms investment, stocks, and crypto, but hardly knew a thing about it. A big thank you to our speakers who have not only demystified the subject but also our fears and prepared us for future challenges that we might face. For that, SRM Zilla could not be more grateful. We are also thankful to our participants who have been so interactive and engaging throughout that we honestly could not have. We sincerely hope all of you enjoyed being a part of our event as much as we enjoyed having you here with us. A link to a feedback form will be posted in the chat box, and we would request all participants to fill that out so we can know what you loved about our event and also what we could have done better. If you enjoyed our event on financial literacy and are looking forward to more such things, make sure you follow us on all our social media handles to get notified about all of our upcoming plans and activities. And I have got to tell you, we have got loads of them. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you hop onto our Discord server, the link to which will also be provided in the chat box. On that note, I would like to call it a day. Good night, stay safe and take care. Thank you.